Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that one of our admin received. The message reads like this: Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story? Is hidden identity. Belanashi, I have my own roots in Zim. My father came from Bulawayo and came here to South Africa, got married to my mother, even though all my life I had never been to Zim. I only went there because there were some rituals that I wanted to do. So naturally, I then told myself that I was supposed to associate with anyone who came from my father's country. I then became best of best friends with these other men who used to walk around our neighborhood. This man used to do your odd jobs. He could fix anything basically. So me and him would sit down and discuss a lot of stuff. All of a sudden, that was when I saw this man. He now had a brand new Baki and Isuzu KB, and I was like, where did this man get the money to buy such a beautiful car, yet he is just doing some odd jobs? He then told me that he had hit it big. He had gotten this other contract on this other farm, and the white man had paid him a lot of money, and on top of doing such a great job, then the white man had said that he was willing to sell off his car to him. And he laughed at me, and after he had laughed, I asked him why he was laughing. He then said that it was because he was using some charms. He used some charms on that man so that the man can end up selling that car to him. I said, how did you use the charms exactly? He said that he had taken a picture of the Baki that had been sold to him by that white man, and when he returned back home, that was when he went to this other Sangoma, and then he showed the Sangoma the picture of that Isuzu that he wanted to buy, and then they did some rituals, and after they had done some rituals, he was then given some charms that he was supposed to bring back to South Africa, and then he had to bury some of those charms at the farm where he had been working for that white man. So I then told him that I also wanted him to help me out with those type of charms, a charm that can make a person give you something that is valuable to them, to you, at a very cheap price. You won't even believe it. This man, he was sold this brand new car for less than 100k, and you know that when white people maintain their cars, they really mean business. For the man to sell it to him for less than 100k, it was daylight robbery. But he said that it was all because of the charms. The charms, what they do is that they confuse someone. If you want to buy anything from a person, then you confuse them spiritually so much that they will just feel like they need to sell it to you, because it will be giving them sleepless nights. So he then said that if he would return back to Zim, he was going to speak with a Sangoma who could assist me. He then returned to his country, and upon his return, he gave me a small packet with some powder, some yellowish powder, and said that whenever I wanted to buy something from someone, all that I had to do was to use that powder. So I would go on Facebook Marketplace, negotiate with someone. On the day of our meeting, I will take that powder, bath with it, and then we will go and meet wherever you want, at the police station, wherever. You will end up selling whatever you will be selling to me at a cheap price, like cheap price. But later on, when you sit down, you'll be asking yourself, but what really happened? Like, there was a guy who sold to me his PlayStation like for next to nothing. That man ended up calling me saying that he wanted his PlayStation back, but we had signed an affidavit saying that he was willing to lower this price because he wanted that PlayStation of his to go. He just wanted to let it go. And when I saw that this was working I then told the man that I wanted to go with him to Zim, and I did all of this in secret without my parents knowing that this was what I had chosen. And then we went to Zim, we went to his village. When we arrived in his village, we stayed for a little while whilst the rituals were being performed. I had to slaughter a goat to eat a chicken. Then I was told that from that time going onwards, each and every night when I would spend a night with a woman, I was not supposed to bath. Like I go to a groove, and then I can pick up a lady, have a few drinks, and then take them home. And the instructions is that I sleep with the woman throughout the night. The next day, I do not have to bath. No bathing, no cleaning for 3 days, smelling. It felt so strange and dirty the first time when I was doing it, but now I was told that each and every time when I break that ritual, it means that my years that I am left with to live, they are going to be cut short. So on the third day, what I am supposed to do is that there is a ritual that is very hard. Each and every time that I perform this ritual, sometimes I end up breaking down and crying. But this is the ritual that has been keeping me alive. Failure to do this ritual, it will mean that I will die within a very short period of time, even less than a year. The Sangoma told me that for me to keep on living and enjoying this money, I have to constantly sleep with my own sister, but not just any of my sister. I have my young sister, the one who is very vulnerable. She is different. She was born different because she has a mental disability, and she has always been the innocent one. So I was told that she is the perfect one for the rituals. She even appeared in the mirror, and then that traditional healer did whatever that he did so that she can look at me with lustfulness in her eyes. Even when I returned back to South Africa, I even saw that my young sister, the way that she was looking at me, it was not that she was mentally challenged, but she was a woman who was in love with her own brother. So I do sleep with her after taking a slay queen to my apartment, sleeping with a slay queen, spending all of those days without bathing. Then on the third day, I pick her up as if I am taking her out for grocery shopping. We then sleep together. She's an adult anyway, and I am not the only man that she sleeps with. So we sleep together. Immediately after doing that, then I have to go down on her, like between her legs, suck out the semen that I would have deposited into her private parts. I have this other very small container made out of clay that was given to me. So when I'll be sucking out the sperm from her, then I'll be spitting into that small clay container, and then I take it back to my apartment where I have a shrine. So this is what I have been doing. But what shocked me recently is that this man, my friend from another country, he has since told me that he has been left with only 4 years to live. And I asked him, what about me? And he said, I will take you back so that if the healer wants to tell you, he can tell you how many years you have left to live. The devil will never give you anything for free. Now I know. That was why my father said that there was too much witchcraft in his village. My father originally is from Gwanda, but he grew up in Bulawayo. He said that he was once a police officer, but one of his auntie felt jealous and bewitched him. That was when he ran to South Africa trying to save his life and got married to my mother. This is my own story.